So I tweeted out on Twitter, got one of the worst BrickLink orders ever in my life. I've ordered a lot of BrickLink orders in the past, and this is hands down got to be the worst one. So I'm going to talk about my experience. I'm going to tell you guys a little story, so just get ready to sit back and relax hearing this story coming from me. I'm not going to monetize this video because this video is really, honestly, I'm making this video just to tell you guys the story and to hopefully warn you guys to look out for BrickLink sellers like this. And that's why I'm not going to monetize this video, because I'm not going to make profit off of it. It's just not the right thing to do. Neither am I going to expose this BrickLink seller. I'm not going to seep down to his level. Also, I just don't think I have really the 100% facts to expose him if he was just doing these actions in ill intent. So I just don't think that would be the right thing to do to expose them. However, if you guys want to know who this BrickLink seller is, just shoot me a message on Instagram or any other social media platform that has direct messages in it, and I'll get back to you guys, and I'll let you know who the BrickLink seller is, just in case if you want to just make sure you don't buy from this person. So real quick, let me explain. I know a lot about BrickLink because my brother, that's what he does for a living. He's a BrickLink seller, pretty big, reputable BrickLink seller. I do help him from time to time, filling orders or, inventorying or parting out parts into his store. So my knowledge with BrickLink, I wouldn't say I know a lot about BrickLink, but I have the basic knowledge of BrickLink and what a BrickLink seller should do and what their standards should be. So I'm ordering my parts for my mock, my Imperial Shipyards mock. As those of you that follow my channel, I come across this one seller in Florida, probably 3 hours away from me or something. So I had the idea, oh, okay, well, the parts are going to get to me quick, whatever. So I'm basically I put all the parts in my cart, and then there's no a BrickLink seller, if you have a lot limit, you should have it a pretty big indicator before you check out. And unfortunately, that indicator wasn't until the store terms pretty much popped up after I checked out. And what was ridiculous about this is the item lot limit was 20 lots. I don't really see that many BrickLink sellers that have 20 lots of a lot limit in their store. The only thing I could think of why having a 20 lot limit is just because you're lazy. That, or this is just a side job that you're doing, and it's not really your main source of income, so you don't really have a whole lot of passion into your store. So after I placed the order, I actually had 25 lots in the cart, which is only 5 lots over the lot limit, but I'm still just blown out of proportion of a 20 lot limit. Normally I see a 100 lot limit or 150 lot limit, and I understand those, but a 20 lot limit is absolutely ridiculous. I don't care what people say. 20 lot limit is just absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know why you're selling on BrickLink if you don't want to fill orders over 20 lots. I messaged the BrickLink seller because I really need these parts, and they were a good price. And I tell them, hey, I only did 5 lots over the lot limit. I really need these parts for my mock, and I was wondering, if you would be generous enough to pretty much include those extra 5 lots, because I didn't know if this guy was just an idiot and he didn't put more of an indicator of a lot limit in his store, or if he was actually trying to pretty much bait buyers into buying from his store without pretty much giving more indication, so he could just put in a hidden fee of extra lot limit fee or a shipping and handling fee or something like that. So I didn't know what this guy was doing. He was generous enough. He didn't tack on any extra fees. He put the extra 5 lots into the order. So all was well. Waited for about, I think, 5 days for the order to come in. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this order to come in because it's got some pretty big parts that I needed for my mock. And get the package, and package looked fine. Visually, it looked fine. It looked like a normal package, but it had a hint of smoke smell to it. And this is when I started getting nervous, because I've heard of stories of people buying from BrickLink sellers, and they happen to be smokers, and they don't really have a lot of care for their parts or anything. So I started to get nervous, like, oh boy, did I just buy from a smoker seller? Now, when you're a smoker and you sell on BrickLink, you're supposed to put somewhere in your store that you are a smoker. The store did not have that. Again, kind of more of a false indication type thing, or false information with the store. So at this point, I'm already getting nervous, and I'm thinking, you know, please don't let these be smoky parts, because they're absolute just pain to clean. They're just not good to have, because then they become your liability. And I personally can't stand the smell of smoke. It makes me want to vomit. And I open up the package, and it's just this wall of smoke that hits me in the face. And this is when I started to get kind of angry at this point, because not only is this person a smoker and doesn't really care for their parts, but they don't really care about the buyer. There was no indication anywhere with the store that he was a smoker. I absolutely hate smoker sellers. I can't stand them, especially when they give no indication that they're a smoker, because your parts smell when you get them. It is terrible. It was on the parts, it was on the bags, it was inside of the bag, and hell, it was even on the outside of the package. I'm nervous unpacking this thing because, of course, I gotta touch the bag, so my hands are gonna smell like smoke, and they did. And the bags, all the parts that I ordered, they were separated by color. So, for example, one bag would have every single dark bluish gray part that I ordered. It wasn't separated, it was all in just one bag. So not only do these parts smell like smoke, but I have to then separate all of these parts out of each bag out of every color. So that's one thing that really irritates me, because it just shows the laziness of the seller. One, he doesn't want to fill a 25 lot order, and he doesn't want to separate any of the parts whatsoever. I mean, all of them were just strewn about in the bag, just thrown in there with no real care. And at this point, I'm starting to get livid. I'm really starting to get really furious and angry with this BrickLink seller. Not to mention that these parts are extremely used. Now, granted, I did buy used parts. They were, that's one indicator they had in the store, was they were used parts. But these parts are really used. They're discolored, they're nicked up. You know, I don't mind used parts when they have like scratches on them or something, as long as they're not just terrible. When we're talking about, you know, discoloration and nicks, I don't think those type of parts should even be sold on BrickLink. I already got rid of some of the parts because I can't use them. I don't really want to give this person a negative feedback because I don't want to get a negative feedback in return, because it's the type of person that would do that. At this point, I don't think there's really that much that I can do unless it was more of a severe situation. And again, I'm not going to expose the seller or anything unless it was more of a severe situation where he actually had legitimate ill intent, because I don't know for a fact if this guy is just an idiot or if he actually did have ill intent of, oh, well, he ordered 5 lots over a lot limit, so I'm going to disconvenience him in the most possible way possible. Let me you know, smoke some cigarette and blow it into his bag, and then just throw all the parts in one bag, so he has to separate it all and get his hands smelling like all smoke, and all of his parts smell like smoke. If you guys are around, just be aware, be more aware with sellers, because when you're buying hundreds of BrickLink orders off of BrickLink, you are gonna eventually get burned. Yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Before I go, I just want to say real quick, I want you guys to comment in the comment section down below your worst experience of buying off of online. Doesn't have to be BrickLink. I just am generally curious to see the stuff that you guys have experienced, because I know that there's probably way more crazier stories than what I have. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I appreciate the support. See you guys later.